Hello everyone, Kay here on my new Tennessee homestead, and today we are going to be seeding cabbage to replace the cabbage that did not germinate. I have new seeds, 4 varieties, very excited to get that started. As well, we are going to be doing some potting up of seedlings. Just because your raised beds aren't ready for planting doesn't mean it isn't time to pot up your seedlings. So we'll do all that and more right here, so stay with me. In my last seeding video, I seeded Brunswick cabbage. I think the seeds were from 18 or 17. They didn't germinate. That could have been my fault. I don't cast any blame on the seeds. At any rate, I want to have cabbage, so I ordered these beautiful So Right seeds. These are non-GMO heirloom seeds, and even the seed packages are printed in the US. I love that. I have grown a few things in my garden that I knocked it out of the park on the first try, and one of them was Savoy cabbage. And I'll put the link for my humongous Savoy cabbage right up there, and a great recipe that I shared in that video. So be sure and watch that. So I'm anxious to try Savoy again. I've never grown Mishahili. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I certainly see these in the store. They're gorgeous. Absolutely. I mean, vegetables are beautiful. What can you say? Of course, I want to grow a regular green cabbage, and of course, I want to grow a red cabbage or purple cabbage. It's called Red Acre, but it's really purple. And in my very first season of Late Bloomer, I had a red cabbage, purple cabbage video that did very well. And sometime I'll tell you the story about how I filmed that video. But at any rate, I want to try this again because purple vegetables are very good for you. So I want to get these seeded. Now, there are a number of ways you can prepare your seed trays. Since I only have these 4 right now that I'm seeding, I'm going to do one variety in each of these sixers and ensure that I get something. And today I'm using Jiffy Seed Starting Mix. I haven't used this one before. It's not damp, it's very dry and powdery, which makes it really easy to load up your cells, but then it's harder to get it damp. So I let these sit in water for a little bit. They're still not completely damp, and I misted the top with water. I've got a little indentation. You just take a pencil and you make a little mark. I'm going to put 2 seeds in each cell and thin them out. Hopefully I'll have a need for thinning. Let's start with Red Acre. Isn't that gorgeous? Once again, cabbage is a brassica, and all the brassica seed look very much alike. I would never be able to pick out the difference between a Brussels sprout seed and a cabbage seed. Now, if you're a beginner, you just read the back of the package. It will almost always tell you how deep to plant the seed. And very often, the size of the seed really depends upon how deep you go. Like a bigger seed, you've got to go deeper. Smaller seeds are very close to the surface. So in this case, they're about 1/4 inch down. You just want to touch the soil down to make sure that they get contact with the seeds. These are the Green Acre. Sometimes I prefer to use tweezers, but it is rather tedious. Oh, sorry, that was Green Acre. This is Mishahili. I hope I'm saying that right. And these leaves are crisp and mild, excellent stir-fried or pickled. And this is the Savoy. I followed a blog called Cooking on the Weekends, and if you love cooking blogs, check it out. This was a neighbor and a friend of mine in California. Great cook, and I featured her recipes 2 or 3 times in my cooking videos. I'm in zone 7. I'm a few weeks behind on this, and I'm just hoping that I can still get cabbages before it gets too hot. 2 of these are smaller heads, so obviously the larger the head, the longer it takes to develop. You can also put your seed starter mix in a big bowl and moisten it and work it first. That's the way I usually do. And I actually think that works a little better. Now these need to stay on a heat mat till they germinate, and of course stay moist. And when they germinate, then we'll put them under the lights. Okay, we have got those started. I like to use filtered water to start my seedlings. I wanted to give you a quick peek at my seedlings. Now these are not the bushiest, most amazing seedlings I've ever grown. Those happened in California, but I did okay, so let's check it out. Some of these I'm going to pot up in the 4-inch pots and put under the lights out in the garage and start hardening them off a little bit. Here are the celery seedlings grown in the self-watering pot. For some strange reason, a whole section over there did not germinate, but I've got a lot of thinning to do here, so it's not going to be a problem. These are the chard seedlings grown in the plug planter, some of which are getting their first set of true leaves. They've got a lot of roots and they need to come out of here. This plug planter can only support for so long. These roots are like 8-10 inches long, some of them, so that needs to happen. I need to pick out the best ones and pot them up. Oh yes, this is lacinato. I assume they're the same. Let's see. No, these are the collards. Collards lacinato. Yeah, they do look different. Here I have a mixture of lettuces. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That's ready to pot up. This is a spinach, and this is Brussels sprouts. Yay. And this is cauliflower. Love cauliflower. If you've never seen my very first video, well, I shot it actually first, but it came out second. But it was my cauliflower video. It's 3 minutes long. That was the second video in the first season of Late Bloomer, and you should check it out. You can see what my garden looked like in the beginning. You know what? This one has gotten mixed up, but I'm pretty sure it's the same as this, which is radish. Let's see. Yeah, this is cherry bell, so I'm sure these are radish. Those look like radish leaves. Oh, this is rocket. That doesn't look like rocket. Interesting. This one didn't do very well. I've just got a couple in here that are promising. Oh, here we have kale. I've never grown peppercress, but I'm hoping I can make it survive. This, I believe, is spinach. If you can see under here, the only thing I've got growing under here that's come up is cilantro. None of the shallots or leeks have come up, so very disappointing. So I will be planting more stuff. Okay, for now we're going to get the seed starting mix out of here, and I just thought I would share this little tip that maybe everybody does this, but I had to teach Eric to do it in California. He would always rip this off. I go, no, 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 don't rip it off. Because, you know, every time you get a bag, you're always trying to find something to put this together. And if you use zip ties or use a wire, it takes time to unwind it. But this is just so easy. You know, if you save a little piece of this, you wrap it around twice and you tuck it in. And it takes like less than 10 seconds. And of course it takes less than that to undo it. So now I'm going to put this away and I'm going to go get some regular potting mix. I haven't used earthworm castings in a while, so I'm going to put some of those in. These are loaded with nutrients. I used to grow my own worms and have my own castings. And this is Dr. Earth Organic Handcrafted Premium Tomato Vegetable Herb Fertilizer. So I'm just going to put a little bit in this mix today to get things started. So I've got some wetter container mix here and some drier potting mix here. So I'm just going to mix all this together. And I'm also going to add a little water. And if you don't want to get dirt under your fingernails, you can use rubber gloves. I love getting my hands in the soil, but I've got to go downtown and run errands. So I'm going to use gloves today. Just like that. Okay, I have excised 6 plants from their trays. So I'm going to start with the mesclun. I'm going to position them all and then I'm going to come back. Now don't forget what you're actually planting. I only did 6, so I can recognize what these are. I love this little scoop. This is probably my favorite garden tool. I bought it for my indoor gardening of succulents. It's awesome. Now obviously if you can plant seeds directly into the ground and bypass all of this work, you saved yourself a lot of work, but you're committing space in your garden bed before knowing if anything's going to come up. So my feeling is to start a lot of seeds so you're sure to have something. Once again, these are all cool season crops, so some of them can even endure a freeze. So I'm moving these out to the garage. Does not freeze in the garage, but of course it's quite a bit colder. I will continue to work on these until I have all the ones potted up that have at least 2 sets of true leaves. Okay. Here we have the first 6. Wow. Beautiful. Wow, they're so beautiful and so different. Okay, I am going to use one of these larger domes. If I can squeeze it in here, just to keep them a little warmer until they transition to the colder weather. I've never used one of these before. Okay. Thanks so much for watching this channel. And if you are a late bloomer like me, I hope you will subscribe and tell your friends. And I look forward to seeing everyone in the next video.